Okay, continuing the what's it called? Continuing Roscoe's Potion Emporium, right? So right now I don't know. I don't remember what I have. I think I have a greeting. Don't think we have. I think I was gonna add gold to the player, but so what do we have to do? We have to do. It's really like two things, and then handling. So there's the greeting part. So we have main. Oops. How did I? I actually clicked X. Wow. Okay. Alright, so there's nothing in the player yet. We have Roscoe. So I could create an instance of Roscoe Shop and call the function called meet and greet player. And that's the only function Roscoe Shop has right now. It has a name, so it says welcome to Roscoe's Potion Emporium. These should be capitalized. I don't know why I'm not speaking properly. Enter your name, we get the line just in case the player's name is multiple words. We store the whole name, and then we do that. Okay, so what if we start by, we'll include Roscoe, and then we'll just create an instance of Roscoe Shop. Right, it's not in its own namespace, it's just a class that exists. So we'll create a Roscoe Shop, and we'll call it shop, and it's initialized with nothing for the player's name. And actually, do we want to? I guess we could store the player's name. So yeah, it doesn't have a constructor, so it's not going to initialize player name. It's just creating it, so it's fine. This guy would be initialized by default. So okay, and we're gonna do shop meet and greet player. Okay. All right, definitely need some spacing here. Enter your name, bop bop. Okay. All right, and now we need the gold from the player. And how do we get that? Do we have a main function for, like a primary function for Roscoe Shop called enter shop? And we pass in the player that's entering the shop? I guess not, because we're entering the name. So I mean, so if we're entering the shop and it already knows how much gold I have, oh, you know what, we could have a player, and maybe we can convert a string to the player. Or maybe, let's see. Maybe we have, maybe player. Trying to see here. Just trying to think about how Roscoe Shop should get how much gold the player has. I was gonna say we could create some predetermined players, but that doesn't work. We may as well create one player. Let's say there's one player in the game. We create the player, and when the player enters the shop, maybe the shop is able to get how much gold the player has. So, excuse me, maybe. So maybe Roscoe is able to get the player. Sure. Okay. So we'll have a class called player. I mean, we could. What would we want for the player? Sure, we'll just do that. Class player. What does the player have? The player has some a private int gold, and it's a member. And then a public constructor. Sure, right? So we'll say player. Well, do we want this to be? Yeah, it's fine. It's one line. Player. Well, it takes an int gold. Gold is initialized with gold. Oops, sorry. Yep. I mean, do I want it to be like this? I kind of like that. And then we could have an int get gold, sure, and then it's const return gold, right? And that's public, so Roscoe can get that. And then maybe we have so create the shop. And gold is public, so sure, maybe meet and greet player takes a player. And then I'll just include player.h here. Well, actually, this needs to be before. Okay. All right. And we'll make it so it takes the player, so we specify which it's getting. All right. And so we could call meet and greet player. Which player? Well, let's create a player. And maybe player has a name too. How about a standard string? Oops. Okay, and then well, we could have it be a string view to a C-style string. That could work, huh? Maybe. Why not? A standard string view. Okay. And so now we can create, let's just include this separately, sure. Doesn't matter, and we'll say player, and he's initialized with, hold. This should be, it should be name and then gold, I think. Cool. And these are initialized in this order, not in this order. So I may as well make them be in the right order. Okay. And we'll say player, and it's initialized with, so let's say we could have nothing, but then we could also have a default constructor too. So normal constructor, get players held gold. We could set the gold, so we could say would set gold int gold, and gold is now gold. Setters, getters, set players held gold. Oops. Why it's doing that, I'm not sure. Default constructor. Okay. So in this case, we could have nothing, but that wouldn't help. In this case, we're going to pass it player, but then it would be getting 0 gold. So let's do player Ethan, and I have 56 gold. Okay. And we'll get the player's gold. You have player get gold. Gold. Ethan, 56 gold. Okie doke. Anything else? This should be the player can't change, so we'll do. Oh, actually, that's not true because, well, in this case, this is meet and greet, so we're not going to be changing the player here. So we may as well. What is wrong with it being a const player reference here, huh? Get gold. Oh, hold. Let's just see what happens. If this is a player reference, I'm not sure what the issue is there. Because the player's not going to be const. We create the shop. The shop isn't const either. Oh, gotcha. We can't implement it like that if it's defined elsewhere. So this is just going to be a const player reference because we're not changing the player in meeting the player. This is now a const player reference. The issue there was just that our definition and declaration weren't lining up. Check something real quick. Okie doke. So we can meet and greet the player. All right. And maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we should do enter shop. I think this should really be shop enter shop player. And while we're in the shop, there will be a while loop, and it will once meet and greet the player, or rather it'll be a do while loop. So it'll do, well, actually, let's see. In enter shop, it'll meet and greet the player and then have a while loop for buying stuff. And isn't there a number to quit? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I kind of want to try having the loop. Why not? So what if we have public void enter shop, and it takes a player. Okay. And this is non-const ref because modifying the player. It's inventory. Modifying player's inventory. Okay. And oops, this needs a semicolon because it's a for declaration. All right. And what will player shop be? What just happened? Okay, so we'll say void Roscoe shop, enter shop. Cool. All right, what is happening here? Why is it? Oh, it's just because this is a declaration. I'm curious what the error is here. Oh, it can't be redeclared. Well, yeah, it makes sense. And then what else do we want to do here? Enter shop. We're gonna do meet and greet player. Sure, and we'll pass it player. And then we'll have while true shop loop. Okay. Greet the player. loop until player, well, shop loop until player leaves, or well, shop purchasing loop until player leaves. Okay, I think this is fine. And this might even be able to be const expression. I know this can't because we're using runtime only objects, standard character output, standard get line, standard character input. Yeah. Excuse me. So now this time, instead of explicitly calling this, we're just going to do shop enter shop, and actually I can just uncomment this. Boom. This is enter shop. I just messed up on the caps. Cool. Oops. Let's see what happened here. Let's build it up. Have an issue in Rosco CPP. Why is it? Oh, because our guy's not const, huh? What if we made it? I don't think it would even matter because, well, let's see. These guys aren't, well, we could make it, what if we did that? What if we did a const player? I don't think it can be a const expression though. Let's see. I don't think so. Excuse me. Cannot result in a constant expression. Is it just because this is, well, what if we made it a const reference still? And then we made this a const reference as well. Oops. Even still, huh? Sorry. Is it because, let's see. In the constructor, it takes a string view, but string views can be const expressions, so can integers. What if we made, not sure. I don't remember if these can be hold. Okay. And so the issue here, meet and greet player. Oh, the problem is because meet and greet can't result in a const expression. Okay. What if we just commented that out for now? It's fine. And sure, for now we'll just say maybe unused. Ah. Okay, so you actually just need to make the constructors known at compile time. But okay. So, I mean, really this isn't going to happen at compile time because this guy is going to say, oh, hey, enter shop can't. Why can't it be const expression? Oh, because meet and greet player also can't execute at compile time. So, okay, really doesn't matter. I mean, we'll leave these to be const expression. I guess it doesn't matter, but well, we could do oops, let's get these fixed. Cool. What was the second error we had there? Mismatch and can't result in a const expression. And well, hence that's the mismatch. So 2 about the mismatch and 1 that the const expression can't happen because of the logic it executes. Okie doke. So I will uncomment this guy. Actually, can I just do Control KC? No, we cannot. Can I? Oh shit, I can just uncomment it. Is that Control K, Control U, Control KC, 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 KU, 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 KU. Oh, what if we did, oops. What if we did right here? Okay. And I selected these lines and I did KU. Oh shit. Well, and now what if we did another and another? Selected them all. KU. KU. Oh, that's amazing. KC and KU. Okay, I didn't know about KU. Okay. Alright, well, in this case, we can make him known at compile time. Well, no, because then we can't change his inventory, so he's not gonna be. Okay. So we're gonna say create player, create shop, and really maybe this guy should be a const express. Well, can he be const? I think he can, right? Well, let's see what happens, huh? Guess not. Oh, is it because enter shop is not a const member function? Hold. Well, because, let's see. I don't know if I even want this to be a member. I'm going to remove it for now. And I'm just going to create a standard string and call it player name, and boom. Okay. And now it doesn't have any member functions, so we're going to make this guy const. Oh, hold. What the hell happened here? Come on. Enter shop. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Well, I guess, you can't do that in the declaration, can you? Can you only do it here? So what have we said? We're not touching the player. What happens here? Is that the only issue? Hold. Not enter shop, but meet and greet player. Main has an issue. Oh, well, duh. Roscoe shop's not going to be. Well, what if it was const? Even then? It's because enter shop is also not. So we can make enter shop const. Make him const there too. Oh, now we're cool. Okay. Can he be a const expression now? Should be, right? Oh, that's as simple as it was. It was just putting const in both spots. What if we, oops, I don't know what happened there. What if we just removed the const there? Okay, it does need to be in both spots. And then what if I removed it from, oops. Okay, things are happening. What if I removed it from here? Needs to be in both spots. Good to know. Okay. So, into the shop. Cool. And we can just put in the body. Do we want anything else here? Boom, meet player. Mention how gold. Okay. And we'll say, I guess Roscoe shop does, well, yeah, Roscoe shop has it. Welcome, player. We'll just do that for now. Oh, here it is. Well, there's the while. So we'll do, it's gonna need a check later, but let's get the inventory going. Or we could do the quit. We want another function here. We could say, so we get an integer from the user, or we'll rather get, what do we want to do? Get a character? Or get an integer, huh? And I'd like to use these as integers, right? Because then I could have an enum 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I could still get the integer and check if the integer equals Q's integer. Well, yeah, and if he puts Q, then he's entering the Q integer, right? What happens if we do pocket? If I had an arrow key, man, I could just press arrow once and then comment both of these out. Nice. But then I could do KU. Oh, it's so helpful. All right. And now we could do static cast to an int Q. Huh? Let's see what we get. Excuse me. Works for me. KU. All right. So let's get an integer from the player. Why not? So we'll get players purchased item. And I don't think I want to put this here. Do we even want to? I don't even think this guy needs to be public either. We just need to enter shop. Right? Hold. Oh wait, it would just be private. What am I doing? Still needs to be declared here. It's just going to be private. No need to be public. All right, so we'll meet and greet the player. We'll have another. It's get players decision item or purchase, or we'll say transaction choice, because it's a transaction. He might quit the transaction or he might buy something. We'll say void get player transaction choice, or how about just get player choice, huh? That's fine. Doesn't take anything. It's a const. Is that it? Get players choice? I guess so, right? It's not going to change anything in the shop. No, not yet, because we're not changing the inventory with it. So we'll say void Roscoe shop get player choice. Hold. Oh, and it needs to be const. And we'll say enter the number of the item, whatever. Enter the number of the potion you wish to purchase, or Q to quit. And I guess we'll do quit. And we'll do int player choice. This should be yielding an integer. Too used to these void functions. Int, oops, sorry, why is that a function? It shouldn't be. Int, we'll say int player choice, and we'll say standard character input, extract to player choice. Cool. Oh yeah, true. And return player choice. Prompt user for choice. Get player choice. Easy enough. Sure, we could also do input validation, but like we could do, if it's less than the minimum item, or, well, let's see, if it's less than 0 or greater than the maximum item, well, let's see. We'd want to continue while it's not, or actually, I guess we handle this after, because here we print the whole thing, and if it's invalid, oh wait, actually it says this, and it says invalid input, try again. Okay, so it is handled here. So there is the whole decision here, it's not reprinted. So we'll say, say at first, enter the number or Q to quit. Okay. And then we could say, I could do while, right? Or we could say just while true. And this would be at the end of the while loop, if we get there. So we could say, we get the player's choice, validate player's choice. So we could just say, well, one, we could make sure, well, I guess we check if it's valid, huh? We check to make sure that input was right. Input extraction was successful. And then we check after. So we could say, what do we say? Do we validate input in a function or do we just get it here? Guess we could put it here. Maybe it makes sense to move it elsewhere, but we'll see. So we'll say if not standard character input, then input extraction failed, which means if standard character input EOF is true, then, excuse me, then we need standard abort. EOF character entered, need to abort program. Input extraction failed. We could say before here, we could say void ignore line. We need numeric limits now. So we'll do include, limits. Or is it, hold on. Limits, yeah, cool. Right, I didn't put in the S. There we go. And why? Because we need standard numeric limits, standard stream size. Okay. Max. So then abort. If not, if it didn't fail, then we need to standard character input dot clear to reset failure flag, and then ignore line. But now we need to say standard character input ignore standard numeric. Oops. Standard numeric. Why is it doing that? Numeric limits standard stream size max. Okay. Why? Ignore all characters an input buffer can hold until inline char is found. Cool. So basically we cleared the entire buffer. So if there's invalid input, we need to clear all of the invalid input. Clear all invalid input and continue. Get input again. And that means it should be invalid. So we should say I could prompt the user. Well, let's see. That's we could say this is invalid input, try again. Or an invalid choice. Because if this failed, then something other than an integer was entered. Well, shit. Maybe that doesn't work for Q. We'll see though. Fuck, I think it will prevent Q, huh? Let's just see what happens here real quick. Int test. Standard character input to test. Three, Q, 0. Uh-oh. So we could say, So that's the problem. If it's Q. Because if I enter 0 as a character, I'm pretty sure it's not going to. So what if we just say, this is a character now. And I put in 0, 1, 3. But then if I output int version, static cast to an int test. If I put in 1, it's actually that. If I put in 9, it's actually that. So if I'm using, I mean, I could get the character version maybe. So we could get a character and then I could convert the character to an integer. Fuck, how do I want to do this? Because when 0 through whatever 4 are entered, I want that to be accurate because here we're using 0 through 3 in this, sure, 4 items total. To choose the potion. But I also want Q to work. But if I extract Q as a character, it's going to yield 0 because input will fail. And it's probably because that's just the 0 input if I just output nothing. Oh, it's because test was initialized to be 0. And then, like when it was an integer and we put in Q, well, it was an integer and it was initialized with 0. And when we tried to extract to it, the extraction just failed, so it stayed 0. It wasn't that Q became 0. The integer was already 0. So I mean, we could make it be characters, and then I could convert a character to an integer. And we could say, hey, if it's actually Q, we quit. But if it's not Q, then we make sure we check if it's valid. Let's see what happens. When you enter Q, what happens? When you enter Q, we exit. Could say in the game loop, if it's Q, print the inventory. Any other way you print the inventory? Why does it say you escaped? What? You escaped with 11 gold remaining? Why did you escape? So it feels like it should be a character, and then we just convert it to an integer. So we'll say character, and then I'll just have a conversion. I think this is okay. So we'll say character, get player choice, and we'll have a character called the player choice. And all we want here is to get a valid character. We don't give a shit about Q or anything. So all we're saying is get the choice. Was input okay? All right, good. And is there handle extraneous input? If standard character input.peak is not the inline character, means when we look in the buffer, something should have been put in the buffer and taken out of the buffer. So the buffer should be empty now once we've extracted it. So something was put in and extracted, which means it should be empty. But if it's not empty, then we need to ignore line to clear it. Clear extraneous input. Okay? And we return the character. And this again can't be const expression either, because we're using standard character input and output. Okay? We have ignore line. We could also do, let's see, get player choice. I don't know why this... Oh, this doesn't need to be here. This could just be get player choice. And this isn't a member function, so it doesn't need a const at the end. Okay. And I could, if I wanted to, uncomment these guys. Oh shit, here we go. What if we did... Oh, well that shouldn't be uncommented. Can I uncomment that? KU? No? What about KU? There we go. Alright. Alright, and what intershop will do is meet the player, and then it'll print print shop inventory, get user's choice, evaluate user's choice. Excuse me. Okay, so we enter the shop. And the shop is main shop loop functionality. Sure. Well, I'm not even sure. I mean, I guess the point is make them non-member functions when possible, right? So that when I include them, intershop uses everything as helper functions or other little functions to do things, but they don't need to be included in the definition. So does meet and greet player even need to be in the definition? All we need is enter shop, right? I mean, it seems like that's true as well. So this guy doesn't need to be const, and it also doesn't need to be from Roscoe shop. And the name is still the same. The problem is on line 7 it hasn't seen this guy yet. So maybe we move this guy. And player choice is the one that needs to see ignore line, so that's fine. Okay, and so we'll get the player's choice and evaluate the user's choice. Let's do that. Well, let's do the inventory. So we could say and maybe when you create Roscoe Shop, you initialize it with the items. So you could have another file and just call it items. Namespace items, sure. And we'll have, let's see. Do we want an enum for each of these items? No, we want an enum in, well, here's the thing. We don't want Roscoe to have, well, we could just have a bunch of different, let's see, could have items, I mean, does an item need to have its own class or anything? No? So we could say, these are, oops, need string view. We could say standard string view. I mean, may as well make it const expression. Healing potion. Healing. Okay. And then same thing. We can call it invisibility potion. Invisibility. Speed potion, speed potion, strength potion, strength, and maybe those are the 4. What do we have here? That's it? Speed. A mana potion, a speed, invisibility. Oh, okay. Sure, we could do that. Okay. So these are all these. And we could say the hard part is well, Roscoe doesn't have all of these. He only has a certain set of them, which means if these were assigned numbers, if I had an enum and the enum was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but then I assigned Roscoe specific ones, then we wouldn't be able to use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 if he only has 0, 1, 2, 4. We wouldn't be able to use 3. So it almost seems like Roscoe's limited in, like, I could put the items just in his spot, Roscoe's items. Or we could say that Roscoe has all of the items. I mean, it seems like maybe that's the case. Or we could say items, Roscoe's items. And Roscoe does have all the items. And then we could have a separate thing for each type, each grouping of items. Well, let's see. I guess so, huh? And we can make these be in, well, if it's const expression, and we may as well make it inline, right? I mean, it's already known at compile time, so it's going to be substituted for value, but sure. And we make them all inline. And then it's the problem. If I imagine that there are like 80 items and Roscoe only has these ones. Then I can't dynamically adjust the enums because the enums are set. The enums are the enums. I can't just say, oh, I would have to at compile time, I think, or at runtime, assign numbers to match those. So I think maybe we have a separate thing of items, and it's called Roscoe's items. And maybe you can't get them anywhere else in the world. I'm doubting this whole item part. Thinking to just put them in here. Well, but we also want to, because the player's inventory should get these items too. So maybe we could say items. And Roscoe has them all? Sure. And we'll say enum. Enum item. Okay. And we'll say healing potion, stability potion. Well, do I want these to be the same name? We could say okay. Now we could give Roscoe these. Roscoe sells all of these. Roscoe has all of these. All right. And we could give Roscoe do we give him a standard array of them? Could. Why not? User defined ones first. Okay, and then we'll also include items. Excuse me. All right. Now we could say he has, what if he has a const expression standard array of type, well, standard array, and it's called Roscoe items, and it's initialized with, what if it's standard array of type item? Fuck. Yeah, why not? Oh, and then we need a max one too. We need max item. Okay. And it's type item. Of how many max item? Why? Because it can't be. No? What if he's a const standard array? Okay, fine. and he has one of each. So we could say and do we just give him one at compile time? So we could say in this constructor, like, do I explicitly specify them here, or do I just loop through and give him one of each? What if I tested? Really, I can just do that? Interesting. What if I static assert that the size of Roscoe items is max item? Oh, well, can't I just do Roscoe? I can't get that? Why not? Why not? Huh? I can do that, but I can't do it here. I mean, I guess we could just validate it in the constructor, huh? So we could say in Roscoe's shop, it takes nothing. Static assert that Roscoe items size what's the issue here? I'm not sure why it can't be const expression. I don't remember why. Maybe we could at least do it at runtime. Oh, and it didn't evaluate to a constant because when it's created, it executes something that can't run at compile time. And the value of this can't be used as a constant. But why? A standard array size can't change though. This, I mean, this has to be pointing to Roscoe items, right? I think this is some semantic shit. I'm gonna test it out here. Really? What? Hold on. Oh, it's fine. Okay. But then... How could that possibly be compiling? Because max items value is greater than items. Oh, the problem is because I've created it with that size. So duh, of course it's going to be that size. Oh, I think... Was at the point we had a standard vector that we created and we wanted to make sure that the vector had one for each? Well... Oh, that was the problem. We were using the initializer actually. So maybe... So we could say... I think this just can't work because we're in a class. So I'm just going to make this be assert. I'm just going to assert this. See, assert exists. Are you stupid? This is not true. Okay, can we fix this, please? Fuck, bro. VS22 is so stupid sometimes. It's so annoying. Okay, so we create it. Boom. And we assert that the size is that. But we already know that the size is that. That's the problem. So instead of doing this, we should... Well, we could do item and then make an array of, but that's kind of stupid. We'll do... Like, why not just copy this in there? Hold. So what if we did... Oh, on line 14, deduction is not allowed in a non-static data member? Okay, sure. So then the assert doesn't matter, I don't think. But okay, whatever. Yeah, the assert's redundant here. Why is that an issue? Oh, because they convert, but they don't convert backwards. Okay. So it could say not make this const. And then we could initialize it. So we could say Roscoe shop. And we could say at compile, or well, not at compile time. But do we want this to be happening at runtime though? Sure, we'll just say, well, could make him static. Well, if we do static and it's created at compile time, doesn't mean the constructor runs, so it does initialize him. I think so. I'll make him static. And then we'll say for const autoreference element in Roscoe items. I think we have to do an integer. Yeah. For and I, while I is less than max item, increment I, and we initialize Roscoe items I is assigned static cast to an item I. What are you fucking talking about? Why am I using equivalence? Oh, we're just getting warnings. Unsigned sign mismatches? Why? Oh, because we're using a standard array. We don't, I'm used to. Well, can I do that data? I don't know if I can. What if we did... Sure, I is less than 4. And then increment I. And x data I is, well, is I. For const autoreference element in x. Roscoe has it, so this should be fine. Yep. What are you hold. It's of size 4, so it should be 0, 1, 2, 3. Huh? Why is it? Oh, oops. Uninitialized local variable. There he is. And that was using a... I mean using an initialized memory. What the fuck up? Okay. Oh shit, so it actually does... So getting data actually gets a reference? No? Hold. Data yields. Oh, it yields a pointer to the array. So it yields a pointer to the standard array, right? Hold. Yeah, it does. Hold on. It yields a pointer. Hold on. Wait, what? A pointer to a standard array? Wait, hold on. Or no, it's just saying. Wait, yeah. Standard array has a function called data. It's a constant expression function, and it yields a pointer to an int. Yeah, so it seems like it is actually it's returning the C style array. So we can use .data to assign the values. All right, good. This works. Cool. All right. And this is initialize. All right. Give Roscoe one of each item. Okay. And now I can uncomment these. Oops. What if I selected it with this? Okay. Now what if I selected them all? Interesting. So it only keeps uncommenting like this. Okay. Hold. How that changed, I don't know. Wait, what? How that happened? How did this happen? What happened to the fucking caps? What? Okay. So right now all it's doing is printing that. So it's greeting the player, and then it's doing while true nothing. So it's not printing anything or doing anything. It is looping infinitely, but it's not. That's why it's infinitely doing stuff right now. Okay, nobody cares about this. Yeah, nobody gives a shit. Just close. Why are you prompting me to close the session? That makes no sense. I mean, I guess it's if you don't want to hide the data, but okay. Constructor, normal constructor. Or we'll just say default constructor. What if I did default? No, it can't be, because it's not, because it has a body. Excuse me. Okay, and so we'll print the shop's inventory. So we'll say print item. So we could have a function called print item. Print item, and it takes a const item reference. And what it does is it says, or what does it do? I don't know if we need that. Oh, we could print items. Into shop, it prints the item. So we could say print shop inventory. So void print shop inventory. And what does it do? It says for and I, sure, while I is less than max item, or is less than standard size of, this is unsigned, I don't know if this matters, but unsigned Roscoe hold, what the fuck's happening? Oh, because we can't, it's not member. This has access to the member, but this up here does not. Okay. So we could just say we don't want to print the inventory in anybody's place. We just want to enter the shop. So We could make this a friend. Could we say, I don't remember how to do this. Friend. Void print shop inventory. And then we could say standard size of Roscoe shop. Wait, hold. It needs to take, well, fuck. Const Roscoe shop. Hold. We get the items. Wait, but it should have access to them. Oh, if it's a friend. Huh? Oh, it's because the definition isn't found. I was wondering, because if it just takes a Roscoe shop, anybody can use the public functions, but I wanted to get the private data members. So if we've included Roscoe H here, definition should be found. Oh, because, oh my god. There it is. The definition wasn't working. It wasn't, oh, I friended one function, but then I had a different function. Of course this one's not friended. Roscoe items. So, for each item in Roscoe items, or really, that's the item, so it needs to print the item, right? So, I don't think I need to even, I don't think I need to do any indexing here. So yeah, right? Const data reference item in shop Roscoe items. We need to print the item. Print shop inventory, print item, right? Doesn't that make sense? Well, we want to print each item. So we'll say print each item. What does that mean? It means we need to be able to get these guys. What's the best way? Of printing the item, huh? Do standard character output. And if we're outputting an item, it outputs oh. These don't need to be, this is done wrong. I was doing this how I used to do it before we had access to arrays. What the fuck am I doing? We need a standard array of item, and max item is the size, and it's called item list, and it has, let's see. So what if I did that? That's not enough. Yep, cannot be used. But what if I said item as like a temporary, just to test? Hold. Oh wait. Hold. Oh, we don't want those. We don't want those. I don't even think I need an item. Wait, hold on. We don't need these. What is this? What am I using namespace items for? Apparently I wasn't. The item is just this guy. So we could say these are all the items. And he just has one of each item. Roscoe has one of each type of item. Which is why it's the size of max item type. And we could say to get the item name, like we could say we have a standard array of strings and we just get the item name, right? Because these are class types, so it needs healing potion and, or well, actually this should just be called healing, invisibility, speed, strength, mana. That's it. So it's of size 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5. Cool. And now print each item. For each item, output so we can get the name for each. So instead of having a function to get the name, we just have an object. Array of all item names. I'm sure I could have a function. I could just, yeah, there's no point in having a function to get the name if I can just use the array. Item type. Okay. And then we output the number. But fuck, that's what we need. I forget. We need I guess we could output item, because that outputs it as an int. Alright, and then let's make this inline const expression. Alright, nice. Standard arrays can be const expression, or standard string views can be. And then we'll say item name, or item name, item. So we could say that. Oops. Alright, so this prints each item. So now we can print shop inventory. And what are we passing it? A pointer to this. And we can make this a const reference to the object? No? Damn. Oh, well, I guess it's taking a pointer, right? So, hold. No, it's not. It's not taking a pointer. Wait, why is this? It's not able to do a reference? I don't want to pass them by value. What if I just pass them this and then we just make it a const pointer? Huh? And then, but then I have to dereference him. Wait, but... Because this is a pointer to Roscoe shop. So if I'm calling something and passing him this, I mean, we could make him, we could just say get items, right? All right, isn't this fine? So instead, what if we just do in well, I still need to get it from him, right? The only things we have are the constructor and then entering the shop. Here's the thing, I have to pass him the shop. Either I pass him the shop for him to call the member function on it, or I mean, we can make the. There's only one. Well, yeah, there's only one Roscoe shop, so it doesn't need to be a static standard array. A static member data member. Fuck it, I'll just make him a member. That way it already has a pointer to this. I don't have to pass him anything. But wasn't it better if I could... Wait, why not? Why not? This is a private... Do we want to pass the items to anybody? So it's like either I have a public member function that nobody needs to use, or I could friend and break encapsulation, or I could put in a member function. So it's like either I make him a friend and pass him a pointer to this to Roscoe shop, and then he dereferences it to get the private members. The point is he needs the private members. And I don't want to pass Roscoe shop, so it should just be there. And the difference is, well, print shop inventory? I mean, do we even want... Yeah, fuck it. I mean, we may as well make it do its own thing, right? You enter the shop and it calls all these helper functions. So sure, why not just print shop inventory, huh? The fuck is happening? Well, this should be const, right? And this should be const as well. That was what mattered? Why? Oh, wait, what? Oh, because this guy was const and he was calling another member function that wasn't const. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, can you fucking chill out with the errors for no reason? So now it prints, so we enter the enter and then it's gonna print the inventory over and over again, right? Boom. Okay. So now we'll just say, I'm just gonna comment that out and it'll just do it one time. Well, hello Ethan, you have 56 gold. And then he's gonna output two things. So first he's going to do this twice. Oops. Right here. First he's gonna meet and greet the player. Oh, I think there's two characters, so it should be a string. Boom. Oh, and maybe the point is we'll just print the shop inventory and then do that, right? Well, it's greeting. The problem is greeting player is ending the line. Well, that's fine. Well, nah, I'll do it this way. Anyway, we put two there. So it's one, this. And we also need to put spacing between each item. These need 56 gold. And then okay, so we say you have this much gold, and then after greeting the player, we end two lines, so we go to the next line, and then we go to the next line again. That way, after we're done and we go back to the loop. Well, I guess not, right? Because if we don't want to try again, let me see. I think that's fine. We'll get the player's choice. Get player choice. I think we're going to initialize it. So we're going to say character player choice. And we'll initialize it with the player choice. Hello? Oh, okay. So I'm just going to make enter shop at the end. Make him unused for a sec. Ethan's the name. 56 gold. Here's our selection. I want a spacing after. Into the number of the potion you wish to purchase. Boom. Okay. And now we're going to evaluate the user's choice and check which potion he wants to buy, or if he wants to quit. So we could say if player choice is quit, then return, and then we can put print inventory. Let's see what happens at the very end. We just print the inventory. So we'll have another here, and it'll be called print inventory. Inventory. Can't spell. Jesus. It's Jesus. J-E-S-U-S. Okay. If it's Q, we return so we greet the player. This should be up here. I think we can take this loop out now, or like uncomment it, and then we can this should be get player's choice. Oops. Evaluate the player's choice. So now we could say Ethan, and it'll put this in, and I'll say not this, and it'll go back. Excuse me, or I could do Q, and we'll quit, and it'll print the inventory. So if it's Q, we return. Otherwise, if what? If player's choice is greater than 0 and player choice is less than max item, then leave shop. Oops, no semicolon, my bad. If it's a valid item, then let's see, do we do purchase item and then we pass it the player? Purchase item, excuse me, and then we pass it the player. The logic seems kind of funky there, the syntax. We're saying purchase item, like instead of add to something, well, instead of doing player, well, we could do player.purchase item, but you purchase items in the shop. I guess I don't really have qualms with this. I'm thinking it. I'm gonna pause for now and then I'll continue in a minute.